Well, hello. Today, with the poem I'm going to read, we return again to the story of the Annunciation. But in contrast to John Donne's poem yesterday, this is a much longer poem. It's also a contemporary poem, and it's written by Richardson, who is a United Methodist minister and an artist as well as a poet. She's also a friend of friends of mine as well, as is the poem that is Global Methodism, but she's immensely talented. But the other contrast in this is that this is a poem that is not offered either from a third party perspective or indeed from Mary's perspective, as many poems and monologues about this episode are. Rather, it's from Gabriel's perspective. It's entitled Gabriel's Annunciation by Richardson. For a moment I hesitated on the threshold. For the space of a breath I paused, unwilling to disturb her last ordinary moment, knowing that the next step would cleave her life, that this day would slice her story in two, dividing all the days before from all the ones to come. The artists would later depict the scene, Mary dazzled by the archangel, her head bowed in humble assent, awed by the messenger who condescended to leave paradise to bestow such an honor upon a woman and a mortal. Yet I tell you, it was I who was dazzled, I who found myself agape when I came upon her, reading at the loom in the kitchen. I cannot now recall only that the woman before me, blessed and full of grace, long before I called her so, shimmered with how completely she inhabited herself, inhabited the space around her, inhabited the moment that hung between us. I wanted to save her from what I had been sent to say. Yet when the time came, when I had stammered the invitation, history would not record the sweat on my brow, the pounding of my heart, would not note that I said, "Do not be afraid," to myself as much as to her. It was she who saved me. Her first deliverance, her "let it be," not just declaration to the divine, but a word of solace, of soothing, of benediction for the angel in the doorway, who would hesitate one last time, just for the space of a breath torn from his chest, before wrenching himself away from her radiant consent, her beautiful and awful yes.